Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing a demo and first impressions of the Bombshell Pearly Queen brush set from Spectrum Collections. They're cruelty-free, they're all vegan, and I just wanted to give it a try. I've heard a lot about their brushes and a lot of really good things, so I wanted to put it to the test. They sent me this brush set, which was really sweet of them. This is a full brush set, so when you open it up, it has face brushes, it has eye brushes, it has a lip brush, and so what I'm going to do today is use literally every brush in here to get this look. So you guys are going to see how it applies product, and then at the end I'm going to share my final thoughts on the set. So if you're curious about brushes from Spectrum, just keep watching. To prep my face, I'm going to start with the hydrating primer from e.l.f. Just gonna do one pump. e.l.f. makes a lot of really budget-friendly primers that do actually perform really well. Then I'm going to prep my lips with the LXMI Pure Melodica Melt. This is a very pure, it's kind of like a butter, and it's really nice on the skin. And underneath my foundation, I am going to color correct a little bit. I'm going to use this palette from Pacifica. I have a couple bug bites right now on my forehead, so I just want to cancel those out. Let's go ahead and brighten underneath the eyes a little bit. For this video, I'm going to use as many brushes from the Spectrum set as I can. I freaking love this case. So when you open it, it has all of them in there just on each side. And there is this chain that comes tucked in that you can attach to the outside if you want. So I'm just gonna take these out one by one, and as I go through the application today, I'm going to tell you guys which brush I'm using, so that way you guys can see exactly how many of these I do use. But my goal is to use every single one so I get a really good idea of what this set is like and how these brushes perform. I've never used brushes from Spectrum before, but I've heard really good things, so I have really high expectations. The first brush I'm going to use is the A02, which is an angled foundation brush. I actually really like angled foundation brushes because I feel like they help you get into like the nooks and crannies of your face a little bit better. And this is actually pretty small for a foundation brush. It's not like half the size of a normal one, but it's definitely smaller. For foundation, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. I wasn't sure which shade I would be, so I grabbed two different ones. That applied the foundation really nicely. I tried both a tapping and then like a blending motion. I am going to look at it close up because I want to see if it left any streaks. So close up, it did blend the foundation out really well. I'm not seeing any weird spots or any streaks, and sometimes that can happen with foundation brushes. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, where you're applying it and then you realize there's like lines from the bristles on your face. It's one of my least favorite things about trying new foundation brushes is you just never know how they're going to work. So this definitely worked really well to blend out my foundation. It looks very even. It looks very smooth. I'm impressed with this brush. And there is not a concealer brush in this set, so I'm going to go in with this little blender from Eco Tools. This came in the Eco Tools like duo set with a bigger beauty sponge. And I'm going to take the Pacifica Dreamlit Under Eye Brightener and Transcendent Concealer and put that underneath my eyes. And all the shades that I'm using today, I'll list down below. So if I don't say them now or in the video, they'll be included down below. There are two different powder brushes in this set. This one is the A00, which is a very large, very fluffy powder brush. And this one is C03. This is the Tulip powder brush. I could see this being a really great one for getting underneath the eyes. To set my face today, I'm going to go in with that large, fluffy powder brush, and I'm going to be using the Illuminating Setting Powder from Cover FX. It feels just really soft on the skin. That applied the powder really nicely. It looks really smooth. To test out the Tulip brush, I'm gonna go in with some of the banana powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Just excuse how well loved this is. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and use it underneath my eyes. This is also extremely soft. Works really well to get underneath those areas. I will definitely be using this a lot to set my under eyes. Next, I'm going to go in with the Lily Lolo Sculpt and Glow Contour and Highlight Kit, and I'm going to be using the C02, which is a flat top contour. Very small. And I am a little nervous about this because sometimes these dense contour brushes, on me at least, sometimes they work really well, or they just create a really harsh line that's difficult to blend out. I have very hit or miss luck with them. I think the true test of these is if you can use them on parts of your face other than just your cheekbones. It's pretty easy to get these to work on your cheekbones, but not like your forehead and stuff. Okay, that also worked out pretty well. I don't think I had any major blending issues. I did pick a pretty light contour powder, so this might work differently with something else, a different product. I have to say this was pretty good. I think because the bristles aren't packed too dense, so you are able to get a good amount of blending in there with it. For blush today, I'm going to be using the Coralista Cheek Duo from Lily Lolo. It has a really pretty blush and then a nice highlight, and then the A05 blush brush. So I have to say this one is very soft. It blends well, but I'm not sure it's going to work with every blush that I have. There are certain ones if I'm using a very natural color where I do want it to be very, very easy to blend, very blended out, but there's others where I might not. So this is kind of a different blush brush, to be honest. I feel like it blends more than most do. It kind of gives a little bit more, which again, I think in some cases is going to be amazing, but for some blushes, maybe not the absolute best. I don't know, there's probably another brush in here if I wanted something a little less blendable. But I feel like it did apply product really well. At first I felt like it was just blending it away, but when I went in with just a little bit more, it layered it really nicely. And then for highlight, I'm going to use the B05, which is a Luxe blender brush, and I'm gonna use that for highlight. There's not a specific brush in here for highlighting. This will have to work, and I'm gonna use the highlight from the Lily Lolo duo. And I know some people use blending brushes of this size on the eyes, but for me personally, it's just too big. So I tend to use these for highlighting, or if I didn't blend my contour enough, things like that. It did a really nice job with the highlighter. This is a very natural, very subtle highlight, and I feel like it applied a good amount of product and blended it really well. I don't feel like it's sticking anywhere, and sometimes with this highlight in particular, I noticed that can be a problem with certain brushes. I'm going to go ahead and do my brows, and then we'll get into the eyes. Okay, my brows are done. I've curled my lashes and primed my lids, and now I'm going to get into the eye makeup. There are 5 different eyeshadow brushes in here, so this is what I'm going to use today. This is B06, which is the tall tapered blender. A07, which it says is color application, so I think just a good flat lid brush. A13, which is the short smudge. This looks really good for underneath the lash line. A12, which is the fluffy pencil. I don't know why, but I find that description really funny. It is a fluffy pencil brush. And then A14, which is the winged definer, so you could use this as a liner brush. And for shadows today, I'm going to be using the Pacifica Pink Nudes palette. I'm going to go in with the B06 brush and this lightest shade up here and just apply that all over my lid and my brow bone. I don't think I've used this yet on camera either, so this will be good if you guys have been curious about how this palette looks. Then I'm going to use that same brush and go in with this brown right underneath that light shade and apply that to my upper crease. Next, I'm going to take the fluffy pencil brush and apply the slightly darker brown right into my crease. And I'm going to put a little bit of this towards the outer corner as well. I'm going to take the A07 and I will apply this coral peachy shade to my lid. This brush applies that very pigmented. I'm impressed by this because I've used this shadow with some other flat brushes, like pigment brushes, and it is not applied that pigmented. So that is very impressive. I feel like I need to go touch lighter with that. So I'm gonna use that same brush. I'm actually gonna flip it over to the other side, the clean side, and apply a little bit of that pink that's right above the coral and apply that more in the inner corner. Now I'm going to go back in with the fluffy pencil. I'm gonna take this darker kind of orangey shade and apply that to the outer corner. Next, I'm going to take the smudge brush and apply this brown shade underneath my lower lash line. Take just a little bit of that darker shade on the corner too. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is a little bit of a shimmery peach shade, and the fluffy pencil that I've cleaned, it doesn't have dark color on it anymore, and apply that to the inner corner of my eye. I'm also going to put that right underneath my brow bone, really lightly. On the liner brush, I'm going to take this dark brown shade and apply that close to my lash line. Okay, let me do a liner, lashes, and mascara, and then I'll be right back to test out the lip brush. I'm going to take the A15, which is the lip liner brush, and apply the Belle lipstick from Root. And then I'm going to top that with a little bit of Skinny Dip by Jouer, which is gorgeous. I'm gonna take that on the brush too. Now that I've finished my makeup, I did want to share my thoughts on the brush set with you guys. I did use all of them for this look. Some of them I had to use more than once. The face brushes I really, really liked. They were very soft, they blended things very well and very easily. A couple standouts for me were the foundation brush and the tulip brush. I thought these were both really, really great ones. It's hard to find similar ones in other sets, so not many companies make this shape of a brush, and I just really liked the unique size of this foundation brush and that it's slanted. That's also unique, and I really like slanted foundation brushes. I think they can just really help. So these were two standouts for me from the face set. The lip brush I really liked too. I don't typically use a lip brush because a lot of them make my lipstick go on streaky and honestly just make it more difficult to apply lipstick Maybe that's just me, but I liked this lip brush because I didn't have any of those problems. The eye brushes, I don't even think this is necessarily like an issue with this set. I did notice that a couple of them were a little bit scratchy, and that can happen with any eye brush depending on the skin that you're using it on and how sensitive your lids are, but I thought that was worth mentioning because it's something I did notice, especially when I was applying stuff to my crease. One of these two just felt a little bit scratchy. Overall, I think that they performed really well, especially the shader one. It applied very, very pigmented, which I was really impressed by. So to me, this one was a definite standout. I do wish that there were more brushes in here. I had to go and clean off the fluffy pencil brush. I had to use both sides of the shader brush just because I'm someone who uses a lot of shades to get an eye look. I think if you're just using 2 or 3 shades, this would be perfect for you. But if you're like me, I would just probably throw some extra brushes in there too. So that's not even necessarily a complaint about the set, because I do think overall this is a great, great set. I think you have all your bases covered. The brushes are all really nice. I really liked it. I'll definitely be using them again. So if you've used brushes from Spectrum before, let me know what your favorite ones are and what you thought of them, and I'll see you guys in my next video.